Hi, I'm Mike Peterson from Brown Harris Stevens. The Hamptons runs on relationships, and over the years, I've built a network of top-tier professionals who operate at the highest level. Mic Hamptons is your access point to that world, the people, the insights, and the opportunities behind it all. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mic Hamptons. Again, to remind everybody, this is the Hamptons Networking Group is what put this whole thing together. We're 30 odd people. We get together every week for coffee and donuts, and we all help each other out with referrals and knowledge and pushing business around back and forth to the room. And so there are a number of different seats. We've got master plumber, electrician, attorneys, etc. And today I'm very happy to invite my friend, Joe Rifice, who is the head of Constant Solutions. He's a builder, contractor, and I'm going to say, hi, Joe, welcome aboard.
Morning, Mike. Nice to be here.
So I'm going to just dive right into it and say, I know that you guys have had a pretty significant shift in your business over the last 6 months or so. You've gone out you're working together with other folks, and now you're 100% family owned. Could you tell us a little more about who you are?
Well, yes, I did bring in one of my sons full time. His name is Jamie. My other son, Tyler, is coming aboard sometime towards the end of this year. And we are a full construction company. We do everything from roofing, siding, windows, doors, but we specialize in kitchens, bathrooms, interior millwork, trim, and full basements. I've been doing this since 1986. We're a fourth generation construction company. My grandfather was a builder. He started building in the early 1950s. My dad joined him in the late 1960s. And in the 1970s, when my grandfather wanted to retire, my dad decided to buy a cabinet shop, and I grew up in the kitchen and bath business, fabricating kitchens, baths as a child. And that grew into our business where we are today. In 1986, my dad took myself and my three brothers in as partners, and we were fabricating furniture, kitchens, bathrooms, a little bit of everything. So I learned how to build from the ground up. I can build anything from a piece of plywood to full construction. I did go to college for architecture and design.
Nice.
So in 1993, I decided to create a separate division just to do construction work. My brothers didn't want to grow and move into that. They were happy with the factory and fabricating kitchens and bathrooms and furniture. So I kind of created a side business doing construction, because we were getting a lot of calls from clients asking us not only to do their kitchen, but they would say, well, we want to bump our kitchen out. We want to make the room bigger. So this was a perfect opportunity for me to use my education and my background and my passion to do construction. So it merged from just building into construction. And I've grown over the years from just doing small construction to building complete homes. I'll come in and dig a foundation, put a complete foundation in, and build a house from the ground up. We'll do a little bit of everything. I really enjoy doing the interiors. Our kitchens and bathrooms are really my specialty.
Nice. It always amazes me in the Hamptons how small the community can be. And I know you've been building in the Hamptons for 35 years. You've been doing this work. I can't believe it. It's probably started when you were 12. One of the interesting things, so I'm thinking in terms of Fernando. So, I'm a Freemason. Fernando's the head of my Freemason group, and we got to be friends. And then I kept telling him, why don't you come in to visit us? And next thing I know is you guys have been doing business together for years. So he's with his CAD design work and everything. I think that's really nice. Like there's a level, like that kind of camaraderie. You've had that relationship for years, and now we've been at this for about 3 years now. But it's nice to see how this group is growing that way.
Fernando is a unique story, because we had met a number of years ago, and he was looking to do some renovations in his home, and he hired us to do a couple bathrooms for him. So we did some of his work. While we were doing it, we found a bunch of mutual clients that we both knew together, and then we figured out that he's an engineer and we can work together. So at that point, we started working together, and that's how our relationship grew into what it is today. We use him. He's on 2 or 3 projects right now for me.
Yep. And now for me. So I think what's fun and interesting about, I enjoy this as a realtor, and I know that I'm not 100% unique in doing this, but I like the fact that if I get a lot of buyers, they're coming from the city, they're not used to doing work. Maybe, they've got a vision of buying something for $4 million and a budget of 2 or 2.5, and then how do you bridge that gap? And to get folks like yourself, Fernando, Chris the stonemason, to come in and weigh in on what the costs are, to talk people through the process, give them comfort. But I don't like to just throw numbers out there. I've learned the hard way too many times, like, oh, it should just be, like, I refuse to do that. So
Makes sense.
At this point, I feel like I'm pretty good at guesstimating stuff, but at the end of the day, everybody's got their nuance, what they want. So it's
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because within the group, once I became a member, there's a bunch of companies that are here and guys that are here that I've been working with Windorama, Egress Pros. I've been dealing with these guys for years on a regular, and Fernando. And now I met Jason from Big Sky Electric, the electrician, and he's on 90% of my projects right now.
Wow.
So the group has really been very, very beneficial. And the longer I've been in business, the more contacts I've made. And there's so many people that are, they talk about how far we're all apart, right? How many people we're apart, 4, 5, 6 people. We seem to just meet people constantly that we know and done work for and done work with.
But I had a couple things happen yesterday that were just 1 degree of separation in the craziest of ways. And
Yeah.
it's, again, it can be a very small community out here. I think, again, from a buyer's perspective from the city, people are always really concerned because they're not here all the time. They're not necessarily part of the fabric yet. Like, what's that comfort? How do they develop comfort and understand that there are people out there that work together, that are going to do, show up, do the right thing. And I think that's, for me, that's the most important thing to get across. So when people ask me a question, hey, do you know somebody? Yeah, of course. Like, here you go. I was thinking about this on the way over. What is you've opened, your job is funny because people want you to renovate a house and you never really know what you're getting into. I know I did a house when I lived in Westchester a long time ago. They opened up my walls and the first thing they found was my entire house was structured in steel. So obviously the price changed radically for what we wanted to do overnight. Can you maybe weigh in on a couple crazy stories, what you've seen out here?
Well, not so much out here, all of Long Island. There's, we've been working, this August 24th will be 40 years in business, and we've seen a tremendous amount of construction, and you never know what you open up yourself to. You open up a wall, you pull out a ceiling, you never know what somebody else did or what they covered up. They made it look pretty so they can sell the house, but you open it up and you find things that are very unusual. We've had homes where we found money stuffed in the wall. We've opened up walls and we found nests, whether it be one wall had a complete bee's nest from the floor to the ceiling.
Oh my God.
We found one where squirrels had made a home. There's so many things. You never know what you find inside these walls. And some of the older homes, the homes are built with the old wood planking as opposed to sheathing. And there were gaps, so the planking would allow, bugs and rodents to get in. So you'd find crazy stuff in the walls.
I was in I've got a customer buying a house right now, and it's a fixer-upper in East Hampton, and the LVL, the support that runs through the basement that literally holds up the entire house. They drilled, so it's like normally like that. They drilled a hole like this and ran the septic pipe right through the middle of it. Like, okay, that's going to be problematic. So we're going through that right now with the attorneys. So we'll figure that one out.
With a lot of clients, when they're in the buying process, they'll call me up. As you know, you've called me a few times where I come in while the client is looking at the house, even long before they hire an engineer or do a home inspection.
Or make the decision to purchase.
Right. I'll come in and look at it and point out things that I've seen, that I've experienced over the years that need to be taken care of, or, it'll be an added expense that they didn't know that they had to make after purchasing the home, or reassure them that the house is structurally sound and it's built well. There's, again, with all the years experience that I have, I can go in and pinpoint what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done. And it really helps out with them making a decision on their purchase.
Yeah, it's almost like you're a home inspector in a way, because obviously you've gone through this, you see, if there's a crack in the foundation, is that a problem, or is that just something that can easily be remedied, right?
Right.
We've all seen a variety of these things, but I'd like to stress the point that, for this audience, that and when you're buying something that's not brand new, if it's brand new, you just need an inspector to make sure everything's been done correctly.
To code, yeah.
But if it's not, it's not just what needs to be fixed, but also, at the end of the day, you've done thousands of projects at this point in your life. Hey, maybe you could think about doing this, or if just this would be a simple add-on, or if you just change this, you're going to create a lot of value for yourself because you're going to be adding square footage that you didn't realize, and get that on the certificate of occupancy. And now your value of your home just popped up. And people want to know, because buying a house in the Hamptons is daunting. It's a lot of money, and nobody ever feels like there's a bargain. And it's, but there are times where you can create value in houses. So.
Oh, without a doubt. And again, with all my years' experience, I've become very good at doing value engineering. So I could figure out, again, with my architectural background, we can figure out what needs to be done or what can be done, and what the right materials to do it, and at the right cost. It's easy to throw money at things to make it work. But if you can do it and still do it within your budget, it's a home run.
Real estate agents out here always have the same thing. At the end of the day, if you want to get it done, it's the Hamptons. There's a way to get it done, but then there's the price. So it's, to value engineer is hugely important. I think it is. At the end of the day, I think most people want to know that they're not overpaying for work and services and whatnot. So circling back to the group, because that's what brings us all together. It's again, it's for me, I find it incredibly helpful to have folks like yourself that I can rely on a daily basis. But you have a very unique spot in the group as the builder. You are kind of like, I'm pivotal because I bring in the deals. Then they a lot of times they'll come to you, and then you coordinate the subs. Can you, at this point, you've probably worked with just about everybody in the room, maybe not, but.
Yeah, more than half the people in the group have been on projects that I've been on.
That's great.
More than half. And it's really nice because now we're developing personal relationships, which really helps you out in business, because when you have a personal relationship with people, and they're talking to other people, and those people are mentioning, well, I need to get this thing done, or this is what's happening here and there, and I need to get, and right away, if they know what I do on a personal level, they can recommend me. We've just had Jason from Big Sky Electric recommended me to somebody in Watermill. The homeowner lives in Maryland, and they have a 2-story home, and the first floor bathroom, they were renting it out for the last year or so. So their first floor bathroom, they had a sign on it. When I went, there was a sign over the sink: "Don't use, we have a leak." So I look under the sink and figure out, all right, where the leak is coming from. And then my first thought is, okay, well, you've been renting it. How long has it been leaking? So we go down, that bathroom's over the top of a 2-car garage. We go downstairs, and again, I'm mold and asbestos certified. So I find mold and algae growing in the ceiling. So now we have to remove the entire ceiling in the garage. All the ductwork now is all full of mold. So it led into a lot of things, and we're going to jump into this project the next week or two, and then it turns out that there's another leak in the other bathroom on the second floor. So the group brings us all together. And you know, when they're out socializing with people, you know, I always say you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. You listen and look, because people will give you signs. Everybody will tell you their pain, comfort. So if they're uncomfortable with something at their house and their pain point, they're gonna talk about it. You know, you're out socializing, and then from there it just generates business for all of us.
Oh, well, I think it's crushingly important that we you know recognize we're all in business for ourselves, first and foremost. But at the end of the day, to get the point across to folks that there's this infrastructure of people that are liked, trusted, show up. You know, if you don't do a good job in the group, you're out. You know, that's how we run it. Yeah. And you know, we all vote on people, et cetera. So I very much enjoy being a part of it.
Absolutely, it makes everybody accountable for each other.
I'm trying to think. One of the things that I wanted to highlight recently was, you know, again, I try to be really fair with the group and everybody every week, because on the real estate seat, I take it very seriously. People always say, you know, we always ask, you know, who's a good referral for you? And people will always say, oh, real estate agent. And well, I'm the guy. So I can't, one guy trying to feed 32 people is not
easy.
It's not always easy, but I've taken, you know, and you've seen, I bring in other agents. We're gonna have a cocktail event tonight. There'll be, you know, agents there. I've made sure that there'll be folks there. But one of them, guy JR in my office, recently sold a house. Was it Amagansett North or was it East Hampton?
East Hampton, yeah.
So he walked in, he came into the office one day and said, wow, those guys were so clean. He thought you like hermetically sealed off half the house. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, maybe you did.
We did.
So he was so impressed with the work you did. But and I sent you a note yesterday that he's looking now to do work in his house. So he's asked me for your information and for Dan Spring, the pool guy, because he's going to be doing that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So what, you know, can you maybe talk just a minute about that? Like, I know that started as a project and it's turned into a bit more.
Yeah, that project, JR recommended us to them, and they were looking to do 1 bathroom. And after my first meeting, we ended up walking through the entire house, and it turned into 3 bathrooms. Then we knocked down some walls, relocated stuff. We put the commode in its own little room behind pocket doors. And while we were there, they said, well, let's do shiplap on the walls and on the ceiling. And then it grew into the kitchen, and all the ceilings in the kitchen became shiplap. And then we had to do electric work and relocate lighting. And it was a nice project. And like you said earlier, what we do is we come in and we put plastic off the areas that we're not working in. We have a zip system that we set up, so you can unzip it and walk through and then zip it back up to try and keep all the dust and construction debris contained in the area that we're working, just to maintain you know, a dust-free environment. Although you still end up with dust throughout, no matter what, but it's very minimal. And we try and clean up every day after ourselves. And I think JR was there, and he said that he was very happy with how the project looked, and the homeowners loved the project when it was all done and complete. Really came out super nice. They were very involved with picking the tiles and how to build the niche. And good. We did something very unique with the shower body. Instead of having it centered under the shower head, we brought it close to the end of the shower, so you can just open the shower and turn it on without getting wet. Most shower bodies are in the center, so you reach in, you turn it on, you get wet. This is on all 3 bathrooms. It's offset now to the side.
Yeah, that's really thoughtful. Interesting. For me, I think it's exciting that as an agent, you know, we meet a lot of folks, right? Like yourself all the time, and to have another agent turn around and say, I want it, like, I like that work, and I'm going to use you. I speaks volumes what you're doing.
Agreed.
So we're going to come to an end of this episode. Thank you for tuning into Mic Hamptons, and most importantly, where do people find you? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, there's a couple ways. You can go to our website at constant-solutions.com. You can call the office number, 631-739-8044. We've been in business since 1986. We have an office at 1401-5 Church Street in Bohemia. We are setting up a new showroom there. We're in the process of building it at the moment. That should be done within the next 4 to 6 weeks. So we can display a lot of the products that we do. We're trying to make it a one-stop shop, so a client can come in and they can pick their moldings and their trim and their roofing and siding and the windows and the kitchens and bathroom. Everything will be there to help everybody choose, so you don't have to drive all over. We have racks and racks of flooring in already. We have Windorama delivering us to all the doors that we supply for the interior. And the windows, Anderson 400 series windows will be on display, thermometry doors. So we've got a bunch of these things that are in the works, but it'll be coming soon. But you can follow us on Instagram also, and we'll have videos of that coming soon. You just came close to me gonging you.
Thank you again for tuning into Mic Hamptons. Please keep in mind, if you ever need anything at all out here, please reach out. I know a guy. Hey, this is Michael. Thanks for listening to Mic Hamptons, powered by the Hamptons Networking Group, where the right people make the right things happen. If you're planning anything in the Hamptons, buying, selling, building, hosting, or investing, don't do it alone. Tap into our network of vetted, top-tier service providers who get things done at the highest level. And if real estate is part of your plan, I bring deep knowledge, strong network, and a track record of getting deals done the right way. Reach out anytime. We'll see you on the next one. You can call, text, or DM me right now, or visit my website to get connected. I work with a tight network, and the best deals go to the people who move first. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next deal. Keep making moves.